Good morning, everybody. This is Derek Eklund over here at Foundation Software, and I'd like to welcome everybody to today's webinar, which our topic, as you can see up on the main screen, is HRHQ, Foundation's new HR app. But yeah, this is a product that we developed 100% in-house here at Foundation, and it teams up with your Foundation database to allow you to keep track of more employee information, as well as getting your employees' information into their own hands so they can kind of take a little bit more of an ownership route to it. So yeah, that's kind of an overview of what the product is. And what we'll be doing today is just going through an overview of the overall product. And if you have follow-up questions or even would like to set up a time to kind of go through this one-on-one with your team, with your team there, we'd be happy to do so. There should be a place on that GoToWebinar to kind of express that you would like to kind of touch base. Or at the end, I'll pull up my information in case you want to reach out direct on that. But yeah, with that being said, let me kind of jump right into it. So let me pull up kind of the main screen here. So this is the homepage of HRHQ if you're on the admin team. And there's, well, a few different things to talk about, I guess, before getting into the different features. So there's an admin side, and then there's an employee side. And then on top of that, there's actually two versions that we offer this product in. We offer this in HRHQ Basic and then HRHQ Premium. And currently, Premium just gets into new hire, the electronic onboarding. So if you just have Basic, it's more or less kind of managing your current employees, and your employees can always review their own information. But yeah, Premium adds the ability to get into electronic onboarding. And in the coming months and years, we do plan on adding, more high-end features that kind of, additionally distinguish Basic from Premium. But currently, those are kind of the, how this would get broken down. Yeah, now this screen, like I said, this is, the admin screen. So this is where you're kind of managing everything, whether it's approving employees' PTO requests, it's reviewing changes that they've made to their account information before that would all update into Foundation, documents, things like that. So the homepage just kind of gives you at a glance what you have available, how many employees, who's active. If you do have Premium, there's an onboarding chart there that lets you know, a turnover rate chart. And then I'll just kind of start at the top and kind of work down through everything. Employees, this is where you can kind of manage all of your current employees. This is also where you'd be able to make any approvals. So if an employee makes a change to their information, there's a notification that can go out to the admin team, and then they can approve or reject it. And then there's a whole new hire process. I'll circle back around to that. Let me kind of walk through all the features that are part of Basic first, and then I'll kind of probably finish up with talking about the new hire features. Time off, this is where as an admin person, HR person, you can review any pending, approved, rejected PTO requests. There can be a calendar view. So if you ever want to look at, different employees' time off or pending time off, or maybe you want to put out company events or holidays out there, you can always do that. Documents, this is where you can always manage documents, and you can always create different categories. And then you can also, there's another section called document sign-off. So this would be a feature where your employees can receive a document that they have to review and then electronically sign off on. So that's definitely a nice feature for things like, employee handbooks. That's always a common one that comes up, or maybe different benefits, signing up for this or that. Or it could be maybe like an employee review that they got to review and sign off on. But yeah, you can, when it comes to documents, it's unlimited. You can really store any type of document, and there's really, when you boil it down, you can have all types of categories, but there's really two types. There's general, which are really just a document or a picture, or like a driver's license. That could be an example of one. And then the document sign off, where if you do need something to be signed off on the paperwork as well, you can. And then there's also certification management, so you can keep track of all kinds of different certifications that are out there, which you can always set different reminders and notifications that go out. And then bulletin board messages, this is where you can always create messages that get pushed out to your different employees and have different categories, and you can even embed pictures if you want to, handouts. So bulletin board messages, and then there's reports. Not a ton of reports, probably currently anyway, kind of underwhelming. But yeah, there's some reports, different certifications, employee contacts, PTO reports, W-2 consent reports. I know I haven't gotten to that yet, but there's the employees would be able to see their W-2 as long as they electronically consent. So that's kind of a legal thing we had to add to the platform here, but that lets you know who has or hasn't done that. But those would be your different reports. And then at the bottom, there's settings. Settings is primarily where you're establishing your different user permissions. And the way that it works, at least here on the admin side, is you can always control who can or can't see each of these sections up top here. This is also mainly utilized to pull in existing records from your foundation system, most notably employees. So if you were to add this to your account and you've got 100 employees, it's not like they all have to be manually set up, or they wouldn't have to go through the onboarding process. They can all be pulled into here from your foundation system. So that's what kind of gets into settings. But yeah, those are kind of the standard features when you get into the admin side, at least basic. Like I said, I'll kind of circle back around to this whole new hire section here. Now for your employees, let me kind of pull up a screen that gives you an example of what they would see. Like if I go into an employee record. So this is where an employee would have, employee information down to notes. So they'd have access to all these different features here. And this is where they're really, it's kind of like employee self-service. They kind of have more of an ownership over their information. They can make changes to their information, which can always be controlled from a security standpoint. If you wanted to limit who has access to what features, that can always be done. But it does show personal information, employment information, contacts, where they can always review. And all this information is, they can review it and then always make changes as long as you're okay with it from an admin perspective. But yeah, this is where they can add in emergency contacts, dependents, beneficiaries. And then there's a section for payroll and taxes, so kind of basic information here. Pay history, so this is the part where they'd be able to see pay stubs, and there's a filter, so if you ever wanted to filter out different date ranges and things like that, you can. But yeah, they can print or save it as a PDF. Direct deposit information, they can always go through and update. Tax information, they can review and always go through and make adjustments. Different filing statuses, or maybe a flat percent or an amount, things like that. And then yeah, here's the W-2 where they'd have to consent electronically to be able to see this here. Benefits and deductions, so any type of benefits or deductions that have been added to the employee record, which deductions would be miscellaneous garnishment. I know we do have plenty of companies that at least haven't in previous time with Foundation, they haven't gone through and set up employer benefits like healthcare, matching portions of this or that. But yeah, it definitely would make sense to, if you haven't done so, to do so now if you were to add HRHQ, because it can pull through over here. Time off, this is where they can always review time off balances, also make requests that would go to somebody on the admin side for approval. Documents, so this is where they can review different document information, general, federal, and state. So this is where it can automatically store W-4s, I-9, EEO, veteran, all the different standard forms here. This is also where they would see the verified documents. So if there's any document that you would push out that they'd have to review and sign off on, they can always do that from here as well. And there's filters and sorts, and the employee can always add a document, like if they needed to upload something on their side, they can always do that. Certification management, so if this employee wanted to upload different certifications and keep track of them, they could. And then just miscellaneous notes, so if they needed to fill out a note that would get pushed to the admin team, they can always do that too. So those are all the features. And if you're currently using e-access, you can probably see just by that, just by these features here, this is a huge step up from a capability standpoint. So sure, it has the pay stub information, but I guess everything else would be an enhancement on top of what the old e-access portal does. So if you're looking for more of these types of HR features, that's what HRHQ is all about. So those are all kind of the basic features. Now for premium, that would be the electronic onboarding. So how that works. So if you're on the admin side and say you're done, you've conducted interviews and you're going to hire somebody, to work at your company. When you go to new hire, up in the top corner, when you go to create an employee, this is where you can come into here to fill out all this, not all the information, the basic information, name, email address, phone number. You do need the start date, work location. That's going to dictate what state W-4 they've got to fill out. And then the permission group, because what's going to happen once they go through this onboarding process is it's going to create the employee record. So now they're a real employee. So then it becomes here in HRHQ, like what we were just looking at on that prior screen, what do they have access to? What can they make changes to? So when you go to the save and send, it's going to push out an email to this new employee to electronically fill out all their information, which that's going to look like this screen here. Welcome to the team, congratulations, and it kind of is a little wizard or genie that kind of walks you through these 8 steps here, where you can enter in personal information, and then contacts, emergency contacts, beneficiaries, dependents, direct deposit information, or do I want paper check, the W-4 information, all done electronically, I-9, and for these documents, there's little help links too. So if the employee is confused and has never done this before, which I totally understand, they can always select that and then kind of get written instructions on what to do. And then in the case of like an I-9, if they need to upload different supporting documents, IDs and things like that and such, they can do so. Equal employment opportunity, they can complete this electronically. Veteran self-identification for government contract work, and then work opportunity tax credit form that they can complete. And then the idea is after a review, when they submit, there's a notification that would get pushed into the admin team, who would then be able to review and then create the employee record that would push into Foundation. And when it comes to the employee number, this is always a question when I talk to companies. It's really whatever you're currently doing. So that with HRHQ, when you sync an employee's information back into Foundation to create the record, it can just pull from a next number. Or if you'd rather it pause and then you can manually key in the next number, if you're used to doing that too, you can always do so. But that's kind of the new hire process here in HRHQ. So that would be the premium. And like I said, currently that's the only difference between basic and premium, but we do have some plans on our roadmap to add. For example, a big one coming down the pipeline is applicant tracking, but I know we're also looking at open enrollment. Those are both items that we're looking at for next year already, 2025, but I'm sure both of those will be part of the premium package as opposed to the basic package. So those are all the features, and I'll go back to the homepage here. Those are all the features of our HRHQ. I guess as far as implementation and setup, give yourself about a month. It usually takes about 8 to 10 hours. Most companies kind of spread it out over about 3 weeks or so. But give yourself about a month if you're looking to get into this. I guess if there's any questions, I'll kind of hang on the line here for a few minutes. If you do have, follow-up questions, let me pull up my information. Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, there should be a place to type in that GoToWebinar that you're interested in a kind of a demonstration. We'd be happy to reach out and touch base, or if you want to type in questions there, we can always follow up. Or you can always reach out to me direct if you need anything. But I do appreciate you guys spending a little bit of your morning here talking about our HRHQ product. I'll hang on for a few minutes just to make sure everybody has all the information that they need. And then a question was just asked about updating Foundation. This is a two-way sync. So if somebody is in the office and they update an employee record, it's going to automatically push out to HRHQ. Yeah, I guess the thinking there is if you're an admin and you have access to employee records, you probably have the right just to update the records in on both sides. So yeah, you can always, if you update a record there, it'll push back out to here as well. And then a question, does HRHQ have a mobile app or does it need to be accessed from a web browser? It is a web-based app. So the reason we're not going to have a native app that you go out and download from like Android or Apple is if we do that with some products that are more simple. This one's a little bit too complex because of the security reasons. So being a web-based app, we control security on both sides. In addition to when updates are released, where a lot of times Apple and Android, you have to kind of jump through their hoops to release anything. So more secure and more flexible. So, but yeah, it'll always be a web-based app. And if you are interested in pricing, just let me know. You can reach out to the information here. It does kind of depend on different features you have in your foundation system as well. So yeah, let me know and I'd be happy to help out. And custom forms for onboarding is another question. Not yet. So we're looking at the late fall for that. So we have the custom documents that your employees can sign off. Now the next step for us is to add those to the onboarding feature. So currently not there yet, but hopefully by late fall we'll have those. All right, everybody, I do appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, need anything at all, feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to me or just type in the GoToWebinar area and we'll be sure to follow up. All right, you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time we do a client webinar here. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.